out next time.
It's just a 30-second.
You got it.
What up? What up? What up, Dom? Welcome back to We Got Next Live right here on the Saturday. What up, Dom?
What up there, DJ Big Boss? How's everybody doing today on a nice, well, it's a nice cold Saturday in New York, but I hope everybody's doing well. Like, a lot of games today. I think there's 150 games on the card in college basketball.
A
So
big.
buckle up because we're going to go through every one of them and we'll be done about midnight tonight. No, I'm only kidding. But yeah, how's everybody? Wine Tynan is in the chat already. How you doing, Wine? Got a big day today, including some good NFL matchups. So we'll talk about that later. Also, we'll hit Monday night's big championship game before we get off the air. But anyway, we'll start off with some college basketball. Hope everybody had a decent week. I like college basketball, man, it's tough, man. You go 4-0 one day, 3-0, then 0-3 the next day. That's college basketball for you. So, but we're off a decent show last Saturday. I'm with you on that one this week. Wine time, Texas Tech. The game me and him talked about last week, and a little lesson in capping about that game. We were both on opposite sides. I got lucky that I won that game, but it was in overtime. It was a close game all the way through. And sometimes you just have the right cap and the wrong results. I mean, if you look at both our caps, they were the right cap. It just that he happened to be on the wrong side that time. So that's just a lesson in gambling, man. You just got to stick with your process. But that was a great game, though, right? One time I was thinking about you last week watching that sucker. But I'm with you on that one. Today we'll talk about that when we get up to it. Actually, I'm on two of those now of yours, and I didn't bet the third one. Okay, enough of me rambling. Let's go, Mr. DJ Big Boss.
Rambling and gambling, Dom Ricci. Remember
That's my
that?
thing. We still have it. We
We
still
need to
have it
have a
up. We can go
daily
back to
rambling and gambling daily. But make
yes.
sure y'all look out for Dom Ricci's picks, the daily picks right here on Who Banging. We got some other picks that come out. We've been doing real good. I'm sorry, I'm not like a lot of those other places where I come back and brag about my wins or my losses or whatever. Hey, the plays are up there. When we win, we win. When we lose, we lose. Sometimes we tell you we're on a streak. Sometimes we don't. But if you can go, it's up there already, so you can go back and check it. But we did really good this week. Me and my man Dami getting those picks to y'all, man. So thank y'all. Keep on following, and let's get into this card
Let's go,
early right
baby.
here. My first game right here, Auburn at Georgia. I mean, every chance I get to take this Auburn team, I've been taking them. They've been playing well on Saturdays, beating people by 10, 20 points, all kinds of wild stuff. So they got them right here at a 6 points. I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to run or nothing. I'm going to click Auburn -6 and keep it pushing, man. That's where I'm at. You got any notes on that game? Or
You
why
ain't.
ain't you on this game? Why everybody not on Auburn -6?
Actually, what I was looking at with this game was the total. This something about this game just wasn't sitting right with me. But listen, there's not much you could say bad about Auburn. That's for sure so far. But we're getting down to this part of the season now, though. We just got to be careful and not, you know, not have too much of what happened in the past in our brain. Because after this January ends, that month of February, with those pushes towards the March Madness,
Hmm.
is a whole different animal. But yeah, listen, we all know how good Auburn is, and I can't fault you for taking that one. Would you get? What line did you get?
-6. I don't know. Where's it at now?
Let's see. I just was able to get my stuff up. Uh,
Oh,
Auburn
Bovada's still.
-6. I still see a -6 for Auburn minus
Oh,
110. Yeah, I still see that.
hey, I can't lie. It looks like That does sound kind of trappy because I mean, a team like that going up, I don't see Georgia has their highs and lows. I don't see Georgia as a team that's going to, break the thing for the weekend. But that's what college basketball is about. Bet at your own risk. I'm on Auburn for sure. Let's go on over to your next one,
One thing about
Don
Georgia,
Ricci, right
they
here.
are. One thing about your Georgia team, they are decent in a bunch of defensive categories. But yeah, that's going to be a good one. What time is that game? That game is,
It comes on
let's
10
see,
a.m. on the West, so that's
10
1 o'clock
a.m.
over
1
there where
o'clock,
you
1
at.
p.m. Eastern time. 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. The first game I'm going to go on is Kansas State at Kansas. Big 12 action. Kansas is ranked sixth, I believe, and Kansas State 15th in the conference. Not nationally, in the conference, in the Big 12. There's only 16 teams, so Kansas State is 15 out of 16. Kansas. One thing crazy about I'm on the total. One thing about this game is in conference, Kansas's first 16 games in conference, 15 of them went under the total. It's amazing, and I think that number is the reason why, for what I thought was a low total. So I took Kansas over 139 and a half. I think I think this game goes. I would bet this up to probably 142, 143. Um, let's see. Let's see what they got. K State 7-9, 6-10 ATS in the conference. They're scoring around 73 points a game. They're letting up 71. Kansas 12-4, 8-7-1 ATS. But they're scoring around 60, 76 points a game, allowing around 64. I just think Kansas is going to. I think even the team total, which I didn't have up before the show, is also a play. I think you're solid with a 139. I think it opened 138 and a half. K State over. Kansas over 139 and a half. That is
Kansas
me.
over. I mean,
Yeah,
I
K
like it.
State's defense too is ranked 141st in allowing points per possession, and they're 304th in 3-point shooting. So Kansas should be able to get off and go over their 76 points is their average. I can see them going into the 80s. So that was another reason why I like this game. Go ahead, D.
All I know about matchups like that is that when you have the in-town rivalry games are usually the
Yeah.
atmosphere and everything is pumped up. You could easily get a high-scoring game. You could easily get a slugfest too. It just depends on the history and where they at right now. So I like the look of over. Usually I try to take the dog in these kind of games, but the over makes a lot of sense too, especially in the Big 12 because the Big 12 they like to run it up good.
Yeah.
Let's move over into the next one.
Go
This
ahead,
is
buddy.
one of my game. Hey, I'm touching all walls again this weekend. I should have went at least 2-2 last weekend, but I went against my own edge basically.
It
So
happens.
I I got to get better than that. You know what I'm saying? Let me check the chat real quick. Yeah, I got to get better than that. So I'm going with this Yale team right here. This Yale team in Columbia, they match up really well. Yale is -8.5 right here. I think the books are trying to tell us something. This game right here originally opened up at 6, and it's all the way up to 8.5. I might be late on the number, but let me see exactly what number did I get because I got it last night. So I got it at 8. It's went up a half a point this morning. So yeah, I'm over here with Yale on 8. The head-to-head matchup on this one, Yale has killed them the last 3 meetings, 2-24 and 1-23. Not only did Yale win, but they also covered. They covered at 19, they covered at 13, and they covered at 7.5. So I think they the big dog in this meeting right here. Yale last few games out, they walked away with wins. They were at home. This is the first game on the road. And Columbia walked away with L's in their last 2 games. Although they did play decent competition as they played Rutgers and lost 64-91, and they played Cornell, which they probably should have won, and they lost 94-83. So Cornell, I mean Columbia, I guess they need to jump back on the right foot, but I don't think this is the spot here today. It's conference time. This conference team is going, and on top of that,
Yes.
Yale is doing great ATS. They're 9-3-1 for the season ATS. They're 4-0-1 in their last 5 ATS. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10 ATS. They're 4-0 ATS at home, but they're 5-3-1 away. And I think this is one that Saturday these games go up. Last week I seen a lot of games that started off at 1 point spread and drove all the way up into the eights, and they covered by far. I actually missed out on a couple of those. So this week I'm on it right here with Yale. You got anything on this one? I'm
No,
pretty
you know
sure.
those New York teams. Columbia. I can't even bet those teams. I don't even bet them. Those college basketball teams. They don't let us bet in New York. I'm on Bet
Oh man.
Rivers. I use FanDuel. I use Bet Rivers. I also use Bet Online, and that's an offshore. And I didn't go on Bet Online this morning. I don't really use it much until baseball season comes, because one thing about that, quickly, Bet Online, you get better numbers a lot more times than you do with FanDuel and DraftKings and stuff for baseball. Anyway, they don't allow you to bet. I don't know what they think is going to happen in this market, in these
Well,
college games. I
because
mean,
they know all the New York City slickers out there
uh,
shaving points and all that stuff in high school.
I
You
mean,
know all that wild stuff you used to do when you was younger, man. This the New York thing, and they ain't playing it. They ain't playing with y'all no more, and they're not tolerating it. So
they ain't
send me your
talking.
if you want to bet them, send it to me. I'll
No,
bet it
of
for you.
course. No, I get that, and I live 2 miles, maybe 3 miles, maybe from Hofstra. And it's a team that I've always known and followed, but sometimes. But anyhow, that's my New York rant about the sports books and how they
Hey,
try to limit you and screw with you every possible way they can. So
hey,
that's
Hospital. When
don't
I
get
was
me
in
on
high
that
school,
subject.
Hospital was the close. I mean, the furthest school that I got accepted to, and I
Oh,
learned it
really?
was a cooking school, right? And they had a football team. This is back in
Yeah.
'95.
And that's when the Jets used to practice on Hofstra University back in the day. I even worked
Yeah.
there. We all worked there. Someone in our neighborhood ran like the food services department, so we all had jobs at Hofstra. Kids washing dishes, prep cook, all that
Oh, okay.
stuff. So I have fond memories of Hofstra University. Let me get to my next game. I went with Arizona at Texas Tech. I see my boy Wine Time is on Texas Tech. I'm with him. -4.5. Arizona 5-1 in their conference. 11-5 overall. Texas Tech 3-2 in the conference, 12-4 overall. But like we talked about that game last Saturday, where Texas Tech was home, and they are home again this Saturday in Big 12 action. That 3-2 conference record could have easily been 4-1. So, if you watch the games that you bet and you really follow them, you really can pick up a lot of stuff even in losses. Here's where I think Texas Tech has the advantage, and that's in 3-point percentage and in turnover percentage. There's a big discrepancy. Arizona is ranked 272 in 3-point possession, in 3-point percentage. They're shooting at like a 30% rate, which is not good in Division One ball. Tech is number 8 in the nation in 3-point percentage. That's a big difference. Defensively, Texas Tech is ranked number 55 in forcing turnovers, and they're 45th in allowing points per possession. So to me, Texas Tech has the advantage on the defense. They got the advantage on the offense. They're at home, which we talked about again last week, how that's a really ruckus place to play. So I like Texas Tech. I'm on them -4.5. I don't know what juice I took, but that's what I got.
Yeah, I might have to jump on that one too, because Wine Time and Don Ricci connect from east to
And we
west,
didn't, and we didn't talk about it. So
and it
we
wasn't
didn't talk
scripted.
about it.
That it's
Right.
got to be the one, ladies and gentlemen. It's got to be the one. Hey, but shout out to
Yeah.
our guy Nasty Nate, live from Rhode Island in the chat right there. So we're gonna roll into Dom's other game right here, Davison and Rhode Island right here. How'd you get on this one, Dom?
Davison and Rhode Island. Let me pull up my pick. Rhode Island's a team I follow. Rhode Island is one of those teams that I got on board with from our boy T. That was one of his teams, man. That whole conference was one of the conferences he loved playing. And Rhode Island's a team I follow, a team that I seem to have a pretty good feel on in wins and losses. But anyhow, they're ranked second in allowing opponents 3 points. So defensively, they're holding teams down on their 3 points. Davison ranked 331st in allowing opponents 3 points. So again, the 3 point is coming into play a lot today. And if you notice, man, these teams are just launched more threes and more threes and more threes. But you got Rhode Island ranked second in allowing. You got Davison. You got Rhode Island second in 3 point possessions. You got Davison ranked 331st defending them. So right there, I think it's a big difference. Also, ranked Davison is ranked 280th in points per possession on the road. At home, they play well. On the road, they're almost to the bottom of the league in points per possession. So they're playing slow. Rhode Island's playing a little faster. I like Rhode Island in this game. I took them. What was the line that I gave you? Davison -2.5, -110. That's what I took. I took Texas Tech -105 for the 4.5. Both at Bet Rivers. So that's what I got for you.
That's what's up right there. Unfortunately, I'm not on some of those games that Don Ricci is on, and I don't know. All I know is Davidson been playing pretty tough this year. That should be a good little matchup right there.
Yeah, they
Um,
got a big difference home and away, and that's so that's where really
but
where my head landed on that one.
let me jump
Go
into one
ahead.
of my games right here.
What are you
This is
choking
you.
on?
It's called Fruit Stripe, but this is number 29 Greensboro versus number 338 Western Carolina. These numbers are from team rankings right here. So this is team rankings numbers. This one might be a hot one right here, man. I'm really a modest person. Everybody that know me, so I'm not gonna scream and shout or bust my chest. But this one is hitting on all levels right here, right? So Greensboro is on offense. They average 69 points a game. Um, what is this? Western Carolina, they average 63. UNC Greenberg allows 68 points a game, and Western Carolina allows 80 points a game. So that was a big open eye right there. Then to go further, as far as the line on this one, this is right around my magic number right here. It opened about 7, 6.5 in some places, and it's pretty much stayed at about 7 right here. So this is one of those games that fits the theory right here. But to brush it all off, on top of that, when you look at the ATS side of things, Greensboro is 9-5 ATS. They're 3-1 in their last 5 ATS. They're 3-0 at home ATS, and they're 6-5-0 on the road ATS. So they definitely can cover the number for us. Then, if you dig a little bit deeper, look at the head-to-head on these since 20. You can all the way go back to 22, and they play them twice a year. Greenboro has won and covered majority of the time. Only 2 times out of about 6 or something. So about 4-2. Greenberg has not only won but covered in this matchup at all type of numbers like 11, 4.5, 3.5, plus 1.5, plus -5. So they've hit at all levels right there, which was another one that brought me on that game. And then to top it all off, this could be a game for Greensboro to get the. Cause they was on a nice little 4-game winning streak. They just lost at Stanford, 69-76. Whereas Western Carolina at this part of the season, they played the number 327 in VMI, and they lost 50-66. So they lost by 16 points to a team that is ranked 327 on a Saturday. Greensboro should run in here, handle business, and bring everything home, man.
I
But
like
that's
it.
all I got on that one. That might be
I
one of
like
the
it.
best picks of the day. So other than that, Auburn, I really like Auburn. I mean, that's taking a quality team that could really hit all levels as well. So those two going down now. Back to you.
Here's my big shot. Big shot on this game. It's a tough one because it's a Saturday and this team plays very well on Saturdays. But I went Oregon today. Oregon's home. Purdue coming into Oregon. I think Purdue is a different team on the road than they are at home. I took Oregon plus was it 2.5, and or did I get two? Let's see. Oregon, no. I took the money line minus 143. That's what I did. I took the money line. I didn't want to screw around because Purdue, like I said, tough team to go against, but they're a different team on the road. They are hitting at home. They're a 43% 3-point shooting team at home. On the road, it drops down to 34%. That's a drop, man. That's a big drop.
Hmm.
Purdue's ranked 114th defensively on allowing points per possession. So they're not great on defense. I mean, they're not terrible, but average. Oregon dominates that category. They're 68th in points per possession. So Oregon scores those points. They're home. I think they're a really good home team. I think Oregon is. I like Oregon a lot. I'm gonna be follow them all the way through. Purdue, is playing better and better, and they're getting used to not having that big boy in the middle anymore. But like I said, the big discrepancy for me was the road and home splits that they have. So that's what I went with that game. Turnover. Let's see. Let's see what they got. When Purdue is, yeah, see on the road, right, 39% from the 3 point. Um, I was trying to get to the where the points were on. Anyway, I don't have that in front of me, but
Mm.
I went with Oregon. There was another thing I liked. Oh yeah, too. Another thing about Oregon, their top four players all average 20 points or so. Um, one guy 24 points, the other guy 23 points, another guy 18. A lot of guys are averaging between 18 and 24 points as it is with their starters, and I just think Oregon's a solid team. I took Oregon. I know our boy Wine Time also took him. He took him minus two
Yeah.
and a half. So we're
Yeah.
both on that sucker. Let's see what happens on these home games today. Uh, you're not on that one, are you?
No, 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 no.
No,
At the
no.
end of my cap, I ended up on most of the small games except for Auburn. But the fact
Right.
that you two connected on those two, that might be something I want to at least put some beer money or something on.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, we're on the right track. Those are the games I had written up. I did bet a couple other games. A little bit smaller and not games that I really wrote up, but I did bet a couple more games. But other than that, those are the ones I have the write ups for. Do you have any other games?
Yeah, yeah. I gotta keep it going. Let's keep
Go
it
ahead.
rolling right here. We
Go
got some
ahead.
more games. So Morehead State and this one right here. This one, it hit on a lot of sides, but it's got its doubts in it as well. And sometimes with games like these, I just take a bunch of them that I feel this way about, and I put them in a money line par because I definitely feel they could cover the spread and everything, but I'm just not as confident because the numbers doesn't look great.
There we go.
So in this one right here, let's go first to the line movement. Game opened up at 7, dropped all the way down to 6, and then popped back up to 6.5. Let me see, what did I get it at? Morehead State, I got it at 6. So it's went up a half a point since last night, which kind of sides in my favor a little bit, but that don't mean much. But back to this game, the head-to-head on this matchup right here, Morehead State, the 3 meetings that they had. So this must be a team that's newer to this conference or newer to this rivalry, because since '97, these teams only played 2 times in 2000. I mean, 23 and 1 time in 24. Sounds like a new team to the conference or something like that. I don't know much about that conference and all that kind of stuff, but the numbers is what got me here, and it looks good for them because Morehead has won all the games, 2 at home, 1 away, and they covered twice. But the one time they didn't cover, it was Lindenwood plus 21 points. So it looks good for me on that level. As far as their last few games, Lindenwood is going to Moorhead. Moorhead has been home for the last three games, or for the last one game, but they came off a nice run away where they were 3-1, and then they came home and they won by, let's say, 4 points against Western Illinois, a team that's ranked 334, and now they have Lindenwood coming in, which Lindenwood, as you see there, is ranked 326. So sometimes when they've been on a good road trip, they should have beat that team by more last home game, but now they had some time to get ready for that, and it's a weekend game, and these guys should be well oiled to get it home today. So I like that one as well, which is on my list. And then I have one more. Let me find this one real quick. This is let me see here, Charleston. Okay, I believe this one comes on a little later right here.
Okay.
Yeah. The Charleston game, I think it comes on around 5 o'clock. What does it say right here? 2 p.m., which is I think 5 p.m. your time.
Yep. Yeah, 3 hours difference.
Here we go. Northeastern and Charleston. So Charleston, as you can see right here, they're 121 playing a 192 team according to the team rankings ranking. Now let's look at that line movement. First of all, this game opened at 7. It's been at a solid 7 the whole time. So you already know part of the theory is they set it at these 7.5 so that they could bring money in on both sides. And this one is just set right there in the middle. So that means that, in my interpretation of the theory, that means they don't know much about this game. It's
Right.
150 games on the card. Each one has to do so many. They don't know much. They rush right through it, and that's where we try to pick it up. Because in this one, ATS wise, Charleston is 12-5. They're 4-1 in conference. They won the last
I think we
one.
lost it. There you go.
ATS. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They are 6-1 at home, ATS, and they're at home this time. Um, to go further on this too, the head-to-head matchup in this one, Charleston's won every game since 2022. They also covered every game, and just the last meeting in 2024, it was a push at 77-73, but they won them all. So they won it all and covered. They covered at 15, they covered at 10, they covered at 1, they covered at 6. And according to my theory, that just means that somebody was being lazy. One of the dudes back there that's supposed to be running the AI and the Matrix and all that stuff, he just pushed it through real quick. And I think we come home with a big one this one. And this one right here too. So Northeastern has been away in their last 3 games, and they lost two out of 3 of those. And the one that they did win was to a team that was ranked 332, Stony Brook. Whereas Charleston right here, they went on a away trip as well. They're coming home off of a away trip, and they went 2-1 winning in this one right here. The one that they did lose was to Monmouth, who is 254, but they did beat 170 ranked Hofstra,
Right.
on their first away game. So, and they also beat a Campbell team that is pretty good at too. At Campbell, I mean, they were at Monmouth, at Campbell. They did pretty well on that one. Now they're home in this spot right here, and another chance for them to do their thing, man. So I'm also on Charleston right here, -7.
Okay.
Uh,
So
Let me see.
someone
So it's time for NFL.
in the chat is asking us about Coppin State if they were even playing today. I don't even know if they're playing today. I was kind of I've been looking as DJ was talking to see if I could find the game for you, but I don't. They might not be playing because I have not seen them pop up. So sorry about that, sucker. The only game I have left that I don't even have to really talk about, but I did take Bowling Green today, -6.5. Eastern Michigan is just they're the bottom of the league, ranked 361st in allowing 3 points. Bowling Green 112th in shooting the three. Right there. Eastern Michigan 227th in points per possession, so they play slow. They're 269th in allowing turnovers. Bowling Green has a lot of other advantages. They were -6.5. That's about as high as I really like to go with a favorite, but I did take them, and that's what we did as far as that. Let me just give a quick shout out to my boy Mike. Is watching. He's driving in the car, so he can't come in the chat. But he texted me saying he was watching the game, and I appreciate it. It's my boy at work. We talk
That's
about
what's up.
capital all day, man, and a great dude. He likes Kentucky, so let me put out my boy Mike's pick. New York Mike picking. He likes Kentucky today, and he's also on that Oregon game. So see what happens. Let's
There
bring
it
in
is.
our boy DJ.
Big shout out to my guy in the chat, D Dub. He said, "Is Coppin State playing today?" And
Just
if
talking
so, how
about
you
that.
feel about it? Yeah.
I couldn't find it, bro. That's why I just said.
Yeah.
Just said that. Yeah.
I think Coppin is somewhere up in there. But let us bring in my co-host of the other show, our main man, my guy Big Ragu. How you feeling, Ragu?
What's up, fellas? Happy Saturday morning. Happy college basketball Saturday. Which I haven't been involved in college basketball, but once we get to the NFL championship rounds, pre-Super Bowl, I'll be hitting the books on college basketball.
Good.
Is that a Raider hat you got on today?
That's a Raiders hat. Yes, it is.
Are you all right? What's your temperature? Are you all right?
I'm all right, man. Yeah, I'm all right. I figured it goes with the gray, but it was funny. I'm trying the green screen, but I still got to master that shit. I can't get that down yet. I got to get one. I try to do it without the backdrop, but it doesn't work out. So probably when I come back next time, I'll have a little green screen. I'll throw a little facade behind me.
Yeah, you got to be up against a plain wall. It's got to be plain.
Yeah,
you got
white,
stuff
right?
in the back.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what color.
I might be able to do it. It don't have to be white.
It don't matter.
I was gonna get a little pop-up one, one.
Yeah, those are cool.
Or something.
Yeah,
I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody else doing this morning?
Absolutely
good,
fabulous, man. Fabulous.
I have a snowstorm coming in tomorrow in New York. We got 4 to 6 inches coming in to start off.
I know the weather's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
With games too.
Exactly.
It's going to be a lot of cold temperatures, a lot of different spots.
Yeah.
But what are you guys looking at on this game? You guys got any action on the first game, the KC and?
Yeah, I do. Listen, the only thing I did, I'll do it quick because I just have one bet in so far. I did my typical NFL. I do one a week. Take 3 teams, but I only use the 6 or the 6.5 point tees so I could stay at plus money. It ain't worth the 10 to get minus money. And those 2 team teases, they have just. Remember back in the day, they were minus 110, maybe minus 120.
Yeah, they're like 140,
now they're going crazy. It's amazing. You'll see a minus 140 on a 2-team.
Yeah.
It's insane. But I threw the Chiefs in a teaser, knocked them down to 2.5 with the Bills plus 7 and with the Eagles pick 'em. That was my teaser so far. I like the Chiefs today. I think I wasn't impressed with the Texans last week. I really wasn't. I thought there was just 3 or 4 key plays that. First of all, that play at the end of the first half where he was just scrambling. They should have had him down at his own 10-yard line, and he throws a 40-yard bomb, and they end up scoring in that on that play. And then I noticed that first of all, the Green Bay's offensive line was terrible. Love never had a chance to ever sit in the pocket and throw a ball. He was scrambling all game. And what just bothered me to no end, obviously I took Green Bay.
Yeah, well, Green Bay. You got to give Philadelphia's defense a little bit of credit, but the Philadelphia's offense was a little off, because of what's his name, Hurts coming back from being hurt, and then they did all year basically in that game offensively, for the most part.
Who did the Texans play last week?
The Texans played the Chargers.
Okay, that was the game.
Herbert had like 4 interceptions.
Right, I was mixing up the 2 teams. I was talking about Green Bay, and that Green Bay game. I did take them in the first half. I mixed up the teams. The Green Bay game I did take in the first half. Yeah, Philadelphia just dominated them all over the place. The one thing that bothered me, though, I was going to say about Green Bay was that they had those 2 penalties. 4th down, given the other team was a 3rd down and long, and they had those penalties out. Guy going out of bounds, and they keep on tackling him. They had 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties that was so outrageous that gave Philly first downs on 2 spots that they should have stopped them. So, but Philly was dominant. There's no way around it. The Texan game I was talking about with the Chargers, I thought the Texans got lucky on that play with the. That's what made me talk about the Texans because they're playing the Chiefs. The Texan game, I thought they got a little bit lucky. I thought the Chargers. First of all, Herbert. I mean, how bad can you get in the playoffs? He was terrible.
Yeah, it was awful.
He was terrible. He was terrible. So I thought the Texans would have beat the Chargers would have lost, I should say, to anybody that week. I wasn't really impressed. Now the Texans are going into a cold weather game. You know how the Chiefs are. They just know how to turn it on in the damn playoffs. And I know Patrick Mahomes has bad numbers against the spread when he's 6-7 points as a favorite. He has bad numbers. But if you look deep into that and cold weather and at home, those numbers change drastically. I know it's 8.5. I think the Chiefs are a perfect teaser leg. Get them under 3.
Yeah. You don't think the books of don't kid yourself on this one, guys, because the books know the teasers are going to get smashed in money line parlays. So that's why that number is sitting as high as it is. A key number there with the teasers is going to be 9, of course, because if you use the 6-pointers and you tease them down to 3, then you get a push. Let's say they win by 3 and you lose. So keep that in mind. I've seen some 9. I've seen a 9 and I've seen it click back to 8.5.
Yep.
I think ESPN bets has got it like at 9.5 right now, but the majority of numbers are sitting at 8.5 right now.
That's when I took the tease at 8.5. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're going to tease, I would tease the Chiefs early on because I think they're going to take some money. Late money is going to come in. Public money is going to come on them, and I'm already seeing like some minus 105s on the 9s too. If you take the plus number, minus 115 on the dog there. But Patrick Mahomes, he's undefeated in divisionals. I think this particular game here, I don't know if that game was an aberration for Houston because they've been struggling. And then, to their credit, though, with C.J. Stroud, they've been nicked up a good portion of the season, with their weapons and stuff. So Dell, kind of stepped up. Nico's going to be their key component. And I think Spags was talking about that, trying to keep him under wraps and kind of make him not so much one-dimensional, but, kind of take the key component away. There's no better coaching, I think, in the NFL right now than Andy Reid and Spags, what they've done in the playoffs. And for years, KC's defense has kind of been underrated, but, more come to light last year. Trying to make that big run for the three-peat, it starts today for them. But, the number is what we're looking at going against it. And, like you said, they haven't been spectacular cover numbers. Maybe, like you said, with cold weather scenario, that changes things up. But if there's a couple games that I think could go lopsided, I'm thinking this might be one of them. And, possibly, what happens, and we'll talk about the Ram game in a little bit, but this particular game here, I would have to look to use, like you said, use KC in a teaser in my book, but I'm not going to tease them with a favorite. I'm going to tease them with a dog, which I'll tell you about later.
Circa has the.
I'm already in there. So all I got so far in NFL is my teaser, and then I'm probably gonna go one by one with the games and take them either at another or a total or something different, something like that. That's just how I've been doing NFL. Everybody knows my theory, man. We know this NFL stuff. We live it.
Oh yeah,
we've been hanging on with it for so long.
To go in a game like this,
it comes from right here. NFL got to come from right here. Yeah. And this one right here, I feel that I feel Houston, they at that point, they're young. It's just the whole scenario of, they're just not all the way groomed yet to knock down a team like KC. They might have been young enough with enough energy to knock down a Charger game team that didn't play their best game. But even at KC's not best game, they can get past this Houston team some way, somehow. They're probably going to cover it. I think we just attempted it at the number, but I teased it down to 2. I got it earlier, teased it down to 2. That's a great starter for the teaser. Now, would I tease it the other way with Houston? Yeah, if you really feel that, in any form or shape that KC's going to let up or try to be conservative in any shape, way, or form, then putting 6 on top of that, 8 or something like that, that you get a good number from there and you got a chance. But KC hasn't this year been known for blowing people out. I know that they know because they've been in these playoffs for years that hey, you just want to keep leveling up so you can keep getting those bonuses and keep making your way to the Super Bowl. So yeah, I think everybody in the chat, everybody that does sports betting, everybody should be on KC and a teaser. Teased all the way down to
the
2
whole
and
world's
2.5.
gonna be on KC and the teaser. Trust me. But you know,
Yeah,
this
without a
KC
doubt.
team reminds me of the Denver team when Manning won the Super Bowl with them. You know, they weren't prolific offensively. They had the capability, but I think KC's got a few more weapons than that team had. But you know, they just don't produce like they were. You know, there was some, I wouldn't even call it animosity with all this, you know, off-field antics with Kelsey, you know, going on, and you know, maybe they weren't gelling early on in the season. But it's playoff times, it's crunch time. And these are when these talented teams come to shine, you know. And then, like you said, you know, that Houston being a little bit young, I think they were more prime last year, even in with the with Stroud's rookie year. So you know, to be fair to him, like I said earlier, you know, with some of the injuries they've had, but you know, they showed up. You got to give them credit. They played a good game. They made the turnovers count when they had them, and you know, but on the road it's going to be a little different scenario at KC. You know, at Arrowhead it's going to be a whole nother scenario today. So. Like I say, no solid play. I come up with just a teaser right now with another game that I'm going to use.
It's a good.
Well, lead us into this next one.
It'd be a good
lead us into this next one. Yeah, lead us into this next one, Dom. Washington at Detroit.
That's the second game today. The Commanders at the Lions. The Commanders have won so many games this year on the last minute, right? The whole freaking season, including last week, where another game I lost. I loved Tampa Bay last week. I like Baker. I've been singing Baker Mayfield praise all year. I never used to like the kid. I've come over the last 2 years becoming a big fan of Baker Mayfield. I love the way he plays. I like his whole story, how he came back. He went through a lot. You know, it's just I just like everything about the kid. I think he's
you bought the whole package. Huh? You bought the whole package,
man. Because 100%. And he's a good baller. I wish he'd come here up to New York to the Jets if you want to know the truth. But Washington last week, I mean, Baker fumbles that ball in the fourth quarter. That was the whole game. Right? They fumbled that ball. They would have scored 7 points there. Game over. Game over. But the Commanders, again, another team, you can't, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They got a great rookie quarterback, kind of like Stroud was last year. And, you know, speaking of Stroud, once film comes on these guys, that's why that second year sometimes they don't do as good as that first year. Because they don't come, they no more surprises. But this kid in Washington, it could be even better. I think he's having a better year than Stroud did last year. Defensively, Washington is on board. Just goes to show you, how an organization could change once they, get. First of all, they got rid. Once the owner went, right, the whole team changed. Once the whole organization changed, and over the last 2 years, 3 years, let's say, we really seen Washington come, get better and better and better as they switch from the Redskins to the Commodores, to the Commanders, I mean.
The Commodores.
Lionel Richie's the assistant coach. Yeah. So,
I love it.
It's hard to go against the Lions. I mean, and they're home. They're in the dome. They have the experience. The whole team, is in playoff mode. Kind of like the Chiefs, to me. Like you was talking about the Chiefs. They didn't play well in the regular season. They kept on winning games, though. But they weren't covering. They just know how to win. And if you started watching the Chiefs a couple of weeks ago, they were like a different team. They turned on the switch, and they started getting in playoff mode this last 2 or 3 games. Lions, same thing. That was a big win against Minnesota. And they just destroyed Minnesota, a team that I backed all year long. So it's hard, man. But -9, another spread. That's hard. It's hard to pick this game. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an upset. So that's why I didn't even tease this game. I didn't put the Lions in this because, if anything, if I was going to tease this game, I would tease the total and take the over and tease the total down because I think there's going to be points. I don't have a pick on this.
I'm scared.
I can just tell you quickly. I have VSiN open. They have Circa Sports. The splits at Circa are let me go to DraftKings because more people use DraftKings. The Commanders, as far as the betting handle, plus 8.5, they have listed 48% of the bets, 30% of the handle. Lions, 52% of the bets, 70% of the handle. So people are betting the Lions at that minus. They have it listed at -8.5. I don't know if it dropped somewhere. And as far as the total is concerned, it's pretty much even. 58% of the handle is on the over, but 55% of the bets are on the under. So
Yeah, those are
it's a
probably
tough
sharp
game.
bets
That's a
on the
tough
under.
one. I don't want to
You
even.
know, they
give
got perfect conditions, obviously being in the dome, right? So that they just
Yeah.
figured it's going to be a fast track. But
Yep.
both of these,
They
don't
got
sleep on
55 and a
don't
half
sleep on
listed.
the defenders. I mean, the defenders, the commanders. We're naming everything in the book today. Don't
Right.
sleep on their defense, even though they're built offensively, pretty strong. And here's my look on the commanders. Like you said, they've kind of not that they've snaked away. I can see if they did it once or twice, but this team just finds a way, and they do. They've been doing it. I mean, it's hard to you want to say a team of destiny, but a team that's got that kind of mojo about them where they start
Yeah.
believing and they do it over and over again. Even though they're playing up against the Lions, it's a week-to-week league as we've seen day in, day out, week in, out. And, you can't discount what they've done. But to the Lions' credit, I think they're getting a little healthier on defense. Their line play is so solid on the Lions. They can mix it up. They can
They
throw
got
it.
healthy at the right time.
They can do it all. And
Yeah.
they can play defense. But to the Commanders' credit, I know Kingsbury is running the offense. He's calling the play supposedly, right? But we got to look at when who's the assistant head coach who was calling the plays, and I think it's still kind of putting a bug in Kingsbury's ear is Eric Bieniemy when he was
Right.
with Kansas City. Look what he did with the Chiefs there.
Right.
Granted he had Mahomes, but plugging pieces in and out. And so you take that, and he takes a young guy, and he develops him under his tutelage, with Kingsbury. So Bieniemy to me is like the X factor in this game, and they keep producing week in, week out with him. And Quinn, he's won a Super Bowl. Bieniemy's won a Super Bowl. And, Kingsbury's very talented OC, which he'll probably be head coach somewhere next year. So, given that said, if they don't find a way to slow this Washington team down offensively, they're going to hang around. Just like last week when I went on Jimmy's show, I told him, I says, I'm scared for Tampa because if Washington hangs around,
Right.
there's somehow or another they're going to
You're right. It was a
finish
good.
the game. Same thing here this week. It's no different this week than it was last week. They're going to have perfect playing conditions. And I realize the Bucs are not the Lions per se, but the Bucs were pretty tough at home and could score. So
Yeah.
they kind of held them in check, and they made some mistakes there too.
Make
So
some mistakes.
they're going to have to play mistake-free ball against this Washington squad. And that's the second half of my teaser. And I usually don't put teaser plays in with straight plays, but I'm going to double down on Washington today. I'm going to take the Commanders, plus the points, and I'm definitely going to use them in a teaser. So that's usually taboo for me, but not today. I think today I'm great on that play.
Did you get the 9 points? Did you get 9?
Yeah, I got 9. So I got plus 15. So I'm over the 2 scores there. And I got the 2.5 with the Chiefs.
They got the total listed at 55 and a half. I
Yeah,
guess
that's a
that's
big
why there's a
number.
little bit more money on. I mean, listen, the Commanders they only allowed 22 points, 22.8 points a game. They allowed. They scored 28.2. Lions points 433 and points allowed 20. So both those teams' defense, and like you said, the Lions' defense has gotten healthy. So that total's a tough one. But
Well, I'm
what do you got,
gonna
TJ?
make you a little more comfortable, Big Ragu. I'm on the exact same thing. You know why? And I'm with you 1,000% because urgency is what Washington been getting by. You can't teach urgency. Urgency is just something players have or they don't have. So that the fact that they continue to win games by a small margin, and all that, it's just what they do. That's their highlight of what they do. And I don't see them bringing anything different against this Detroit team. And it's just a bunch of young guys flying all over the place. The wide receiver game is crazy. The cornerback game is crazy. They're going to be playing indoors, so it's, everybody's going to be running fast, and both teams are very fast. I don't really visit the prop market, but prop market on Daniels could be crazy. Prop on the wide receivers for Detroit should be crazy, but I'm not gonna touch none of that. I think I was like 9 is too much. The number probably should have came out somewhere 6.5, 7, 7.5.
There you go. Teasers again are built into that number too. So
Yeah, so I took that
Right.
nine. I took that 9 plus 6. I got 15, and I'm thinking of taking them plus 9 today for sure. I just two, and we've seen it all year. Big numbers in the NFL went down. We've
yeah,
seen it happen time after time. So this number can go down too. Some of these numbers nowadays are related to the algorithms and the crazy stuff that they do, which sometimes is very correct, but sometimes it's very wrong. And I think this
yeah.
one is going to be for the people today. If you believe a lot of people, I think a lot of Detroit is hype too. Like Detroit, they're evolving as a city. They coming together. They,
Yeah, look,
everything is pointing in the right
and they
direction for
just
them.
missed last year, right? You see what happened.
Yeah. Well,
They've been. We'll see what
no,
happens.
you're right, Dom. They
Yeah.
did just miss. It's been a goal. Like don't forget when Campbell took over the team, that was like a 1-win team,
Yeah.
and then he won X amount again, and they just missed last year. With the playoffs, and so we knew each year they were getting closer and closer. And then, but here's the thing about Campbell, he'll make that bonehead call at one point in the game where you scratch your head, like go for it on fourth down on their own 28-yard line, and then come back and bite him in the ass. Now Quinn, to his credit, last week he kind of did the same thing. Like he gave Jaden the nod, like in the one drive. I think they went on it like three times on
Yeah,
fourth down. They wound up cashing in on a field goal, and that was it. But every time,
yeah,
like the DJ said, sense of urgency. It was written in their playbook from last week. So I see more of the same of that probably on the Washington side versus Detroit, because Detroit's got the comforts of playing at home, right? So Washington,
yeah.
they're going to have to score touchdowns on the road here, and the numbers indicates that with the high total,
Yeah.
55 and a half,
55 and a half. Yeah.
if the number's sitting at what 9 points.
Yeah.
So are we saying that Washington is going to win this, or they're going to win this game? Like 37 or 34 to 20, 28 or something like that, or are they going to win by doubles, or are they going to win by one score? You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's telling me that Washington's probably going to get at least 28 points in this particular spot. 28-38, something like that. 28.
But
30.
With Dom said the sharps from the betting lines on VSiN, the sharps are on the under, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
I would think
slightly not.
You
big,
know
but
why?
slightly. And we were
You
on
know
the
why I
under last
think?
week too. When that Minnesota Lion game, we took the under. We both did, Doc. We had everybody was petting that over 56. We were both on that under.
Yeah.
But yeah. Go ahead, DJ.
But you know what I think that comes from? What Big Ragu was just talking about, those going for it on fourth down 3 times and getting stopped. And this year they've been, we know from old school that they've been going for it on fourth down for the last like 5 or 6 years, more than ever in the
Just gonna mention
entirety
that.
of football.
But not
And
more than this year.
but it's
Well,
kind
here's
of
the
This
thing.
year has to set a record.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing with that fourth down,
it's-
though. When you got teams that commit to going for it on fourth down, so if they're like 3rd and 8, they're like, hey, we don't have to get 8 here. We just got to
Yeah.
get 4, 5.
Right.
Then we put ourselves in 4th and 2, 4th and 1, 4th and we're going for it. Especially if it's like 35, 40-yard line the other way. They're
Yeah.
going to flip the field and they're going to keep the drives going. So there's a lot of that playing, and then that could equate to unders too, like you're saying.
That's what-
keep
yeah.
the drives longer, and
That's where these unders is coming from.
It
And
just
if you
takes
ask
time
me-
off the clock. So keep that in mind too.
If you ask me, the reason why there are more fourth down, no field goals being kicked, and they're going for it on fourth down, has a lot to do with these new kicking rules. I
Yeah.
think it has a lot to do with it. I think they know what I think it has a lot to do with the way those new rules are, and the way teams they're taking a shot. They're just taking those shots.
Well-
Because if you don't go for it, if you miss the field goal or whatever, the other team gets the ball basically at the 30 if you kick it into the end zone. So that's why
Well,
I think they take the shot. They want the 7, not the 3. That's how I.
In a more conspiracy theory way, it's the
Uh-oh.
fact that a lot of these coaches are allowed to coach the team, but some teams are pro. What do they call that? The algorithm shit. Some of them like, yeah, you can coach the
They use
team.
the analytics.
Yeah, you can coach the team, but when it comes down to these decisions, we expect you to take the analytics and not
Right.
your coaching. And
Yeah.
I think that's what these coaches are forced to do that. Like, I mean, most coaches is old school like us. So they down with the field goal, but somebody's at the back of them pushing the button like, no.
Yeah.
That's why they've developed what Big Ragu said. They developed a strategy like the algorithm gonna make me take it anyway. So if I just get 4 out of 8, I'm gonna go for it on 4th down and 4 and 4 whatever 2 whatever. So, but like you said, my point was that at the end of the day, this derives in unders. Those missing 4th downs are like turnovers back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Which always extends the drive the other way. So it's really good for
Especially if
unders
they come up short. Now you got to go, 70, 80 yards, the
the
other
other
way,
way. Yep.
in about
Yep.
5, 6, 7, 8 minutes.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
if you
that,
get three possessions, on long drives in a quarter, let's say, or 2.5%, you get like a couple 6-minute drives. That's a whole quarter, and
Yep.
one comes a touchdown, one comes a field goal. Let's say that's 10 points,
Yeah.
and you're sitting at like 40, 42, 43, 44 versus 55, 56. So
Yeah, that
and
I'm gonna be looking for that one live. Looking for an under spot on that one
let's
live.
let's not
But let's
forget what happened last week. Wait a minute. Let's not forget what happened last week. What were we doing last week? We were betting every first half under, right?
yeah,
Every first half under hit besides the last game on Monday.
yeah.
That game went opposite. The first half went over. The second, the Minnesota game.
Yeah, and
Other than
that's a
that,
great point,
every
too,
single
Tommy.
game
Yeah.
I kept on telling you we're taking second half over, second half
Yeah.
over.
Right.
It happened every game. These
Yeah.
playoffs, I think teams come out. It's the playoffs. It's very easy to have a slow start in some of these games. So keep your eye on that. And we knew DJ. We talked about it. Like I said, I'm leery of doing. We did it every day. We did it Thursday night's game, Saturday's game, Sunday's game. When it came to Monday, I was like, this can't be hitting again. And,
Okay.
law of averages, right? So we stayed away from that. But that could be a look, too, today, that first half under in the Chiefs game. Or the
Shout out
Lions
to-
game. I mean, the Lions game, not the Chiefs game. Lions.
shout out to our guy Daryl in the chat. He says he likes the over in today's game and the under in tomorrow's
What's up,
game.
Daryl?
Take us right into the Rams, Big Ragu. Rams in Philadelphia right here. What is it? The
Sunday,
line is like
right?
6 now.
What time is that? 1 o'clock Sunday? Yeah.
Yeah, 2 o'clock, I think.
Okay. Go
2
ahead.
o'clock start. Yeah, this is this game could go either way for the Rams. I think big win, taking down the Vikings. See, the thing I didn't like about that Minnesota side going into that, and I liked the Rams last week. That's one of
Yeah, me too.
the two winners that I had.
Yeah.
But when the teams are backing in, like Green Bay came in with a loss, Rams coming in with a loss. It's tough to, even though they had 14 wins. 14 wins, 13 wins for the Pack. I mean, you would think that's solid numbers going in. Carrying a lot of momentum, but all it takes is that one little blip, to put the brakes on, especially with teams that are kind of, with the scenario that was with the Rams. So now it's probably the toughest spot on the board, I think, for the Rams to back them because, number one, they played Monday night and they're playing on a Saturday. They got the travel involved, which that used to be a thing for me, not as much anymore, but it's still, and what's going on back home in LA, so that's an emotional thing for them. So that could go either way for them. Are they going to be like the team, like the Saints were, when they were kind of displaced and had, the city kind of, to keep the bright hope for them. So I think that's a positive in my respect for them as far as unity going, focus, that type of thing. And, a lot of the pieces that they have on the offensive side, are all there. Kupp is there, the running back is there, Puka's there, Stafford's there, McVay's championship coach. So, all the aspects on the offensive side. There are some question marks on the defense, but you know what? That young defense has kind of stepped up. And if you look at back what they've done quietly, I think, outside of, getting those injuries put together, they put together a nice little season, when all the turmoil was going on, San Francisco over here, and then you had Seattle over there with, was getting, some notoriety. So the Rams kind of quietly put their season together. And now, I think they're in a tough spot because now they got to go face probably the best defense, the top 2 or 3 defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
With
Best
Philadelphia.
offensive line too. One of the best offensive lines.
So,
yeah.
The matchup for me is going to be, here we go again. Philadelphia's defense, coming up big against, a top tier, what I call a top tier playoff offense per se, with experience and everything. So, and Philadelphia's been there, done that before. So, I think it's a tough out for the Rams here, and the numbers below a touchdown, right? We're looking at 6.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah, with a total of 42 and a half. Keep in mind, I seen somebody mention they were taking the over tomorrow. Oh, Daryl, think I said that. Just check the weather, Daryl, because
He likes the
Philly's
under
like
tomorrow. Darren likes
Philly's.
the under.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, because
He likes
Philly's
the
2
over
hours.
for today's games and under tomorrow.
Philly's
tend
2
to-
hours from me.
That would
and
be
it's
my
gonna
look
bad
too.
weather.
I would think if I had a lean here right now, and I'll tweet it out. But I'm probably going to more likely be on the under in this spot here because I think the young defense of the Rams and that stout defense of the 40 the Eagles are going to kind of play up. Like playoff football. And this is a game where I don't think we're going to see a lot of the analytics play out. I think it's just going to be more possession type football, and then the Rams are going to just try to if they stay around, kind of like the Skins here, this is one of them games. They're not. I don't think it's going to be a blowout for the Rams. It could go the other way for the Eagles, but the Rams are going to have to play mistake-free football, and the Eagles, they're just going to do what they've done all year. You're going to see Barkley, you're going to see some AJ, you're going to see maybe a little bit of Gainwell in between.
The tight end has been getting
Goddard. You see Goddard. Maybe this is a good prop game. I'm not a prop guy, but
he's healthy again.
Look for some props, maybe for Barkley, and they're going to be juiced up, obviously. And then maybe look at Nakua and Cup. Maybe they kind of get some some kind of route, some kind of defensive looks, or try to. Like I say, McVay's a hell of a play caller, and I think he'll scheme up some offense here.
They got the experience. He's definitely a better coach. He's definitely a better coach on the field. I can say
and then Sirianni, I think so.
If I had my heart, I would love to see the Rams beat. I'm not sold on the Eagles as a lot of people talk about them being the best team in the NFL. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Maybe it's a personal thing.
But it sounds a little personal.
But
I think they have the best.
Yeah, but I'm a Rams man. I like your boys out there. I would love to see the Rams win.
That's a feel good story.
I'm going to tell you what I did bet.
They win. That would be a feel good story if they go all the way.
Oh, it'd be great.
But I think the Eagles have the best running back in the league.
Yeah.
That's arguable with Henry, but what, Henry, as good as he is, Lamar sets him up nicely. But he basically came in his first year from the Giants, and not only kind of blended in, but he kind of put this team on his back, so to speak. Just kind of became the leader of the locker room.
He finally had an offensive line. He actually had an offensive line to go behind. That's amazing.
Let me let the record reflect and give my little small piece right here.
Absolutely.
So first off, this Rams thing and the fires, it worked great for the game that got moved to Arizona. We knew that was coming. Over. But guess what? That party is over.
Yeah.
It's over. At the end of the day, life is life. I feel for everyone involved in the fires, so forth, so on. But that was a very small part of LA, yet California. 10,000 people is almost nothing. And sometimes, in the big ram of things. So that party is cool with. They got a surplus of stuff people that sent in. The people not even taking it. I mean, these people were well-off people. If you try to give them a Kirkland water, they're going to be like, it's not Fuji. You know what I'm saying? So we got a surplus of stuff people are sending in. These people are saddened from their homes. But everything must move on, right? And at this point, we had to move on by. The part that I think about Philadelphia in this game and why I think Philadelphia is going to win this game, I can't tell you what number they're going to win it by. I think it could probably just come down to a field goal. It could come down to a touchdown. But I think it's going to be pretty tight in this game right here. But the Philadelphia people, man, they just like Don was saying, everybody's saying this, they go hard. So if Philadelphia loses to the Rams today, they're going to be one to trash the coach, the quarterback, the announcer.
They do that on scrimmage games. It's Philadelphia. They don't need a playoff game.
Yeah, I know, but they're going to go wild. So Philadelphia, being that they brought Barkley over and everything in their plans is coming together right now, this is a crucial game that they get out of here with the win. They don't care about what margin or anything. And my third thing is, I've been taking a look at these West Coast teams playing in those bad weather conditions, and they ain't did good. The Rams, the 49ers, too much sunshine on this side of the Mississippi, and when they go over there in them cold, they crumble. So in this one, farewell to the Rams, but I took them in my teaser. Rams plus 12.5 for me.
Yeah, okay. I
Yeah,
got
like
you.
I said, this is one of them games that can go off the rails, which I
Yeah, it
think
could. The only
for
thing I
them,
like about the Rams is they got they do have the experience in these situations,
yeah.
but
Now for
again,
the
it's a
big
tough spot.
showdown.
Tough spot.
The big showdown. The best game on the card this week. Baltimore at Buffalo. I think this just comes out to what style of NFL person you are. And each on you could argue on both sides that Baltimore is the best team or Buffalo is the best team. Both of them have great defenses. They both have great offenses. They're led by true leaders. They're coached by true coaches. I mean, it's hard to find any flaws in this game. This is just a clash of the Titans. And what side are you on at the end of the day? I'm on the Buffalo side because I like pocket passers. I like offenses that can sling it a little bit. If their defense can continue to play like they've been playing thus far in the last 3-4 games, then they should give Baltimore problems. But Baltimore is talented with Henry on the run, and I don't think Lamar is great on a good day, bad on a bad day. Sometimes in these matchups, he can fold on you. So some people think Lamar is going to be the greatest one. I heard this one is going to determine who gets MVP right here.
Yeah,
They call it the MVP game, that's for sure.
yeah. Even though it's supposed to be based on the, isn't it supposed to be based on the regular season only? Isn't that true? I
What's
thought it was
that?
supposed to be based the
No.
MVP. I thought it
It's
was
before
based
the
only on
yeah. I
regular
think they've
season.
already got it picked before this game. It's
Yeah,
already been balloted. So
And that's
it's not
and
gonna
just
have any
quickly,
effect.
if it wasn't such a damn, which I don't agree with, it always goes to a quarterback. You were talking about Barkley. If anybody that wasn't a quarterback deserved that trophy this year, it would probably be Barkley, other than the two quarterbacks. But anyhow, be that as
Yeah,
it may, I took
it's an MVP season for both of these guys. Just
yeah.
if I mean, Lamar's got like 4,000 yards and 40
Yeah.
some odd touchdowns. I
Yeah.
mean, it's insane. And the thing that's made it really nice for him this year, where normally their biggest issue year in, year out is every time they go after that key running back, it winds up getting dinged up early. Then we get offensive line injuries, and then they've got like 10, 12 different offensive lines playing throughout the season. This year, I don't think, he had to overcome that because I think Henry made it, not I say easy for him, but took a lot of pressure off of Lamar, was able to let him do what he does best. And I hate the Ravens. That's a team that, outside of Joe Flacco, ever since Lamar's been in there, I've always had a tough time with the Ravens, capping them and getting paid.
Right.
If I bet on them, they kill me. If I bet against them, they kill me. So I haven't been lucky. Buffalo's going to definitely try to protect their home turf. What kind of like Lamar, what Mahomes is to Kansas City. Allen is to Buffalo. They're tough to beat. They're tough to beat in Rich Stadium up there.
Without a doubt, I think home field's going to have a lot to do with
It's
it.
not. It's not a big.
The-
It's not an easy task.
Yep.
But if one team can do it, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
that's the team right there.
I hear
Because
you.
if you look at what the Ravens have a nasty defense. They're tough against the run. I think you got to outweigh them on offense. I think I give a slight edge to what do you call it, Lamar and company. That's why they're the favorite. Come on, guys, think about it. They're
Yeah,
they're
they're-
one and a half point
Yeah,
favorite up there.
1 point.
Yeah,
It's been
so
fluctuating
basically a
back and
pick 'em.
forth.
But in normal circumstances, under pick 'em, Buffalo should be a 3-point home
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
Of all
In
things
the
being
playoffs,
because home field should be
I
worth
think
3
that
points,
changes.
right?
Yeah.
So
I get
if
you.
you squashing numbers, that's one way to look at it. And then if you analyze, all the units on the field, offense versus defense versus offense, the weakest link in this game is the Buffalo defense. So
Yep.
that
And-
being said, I'm taking pause on this game. I'm going to crack open a couple cold ones. And I'm just going to enjoy the shit out of watching this game. So
Well,
I don't have any action on this game. And
I
I'm going
do.
to just enjoy it as a nightcap. Maybe the under. Maybe we go like a primetime under, kind of square
I
play
got-
there. First half, and then just sit back and maybe enjoy a couple more beers after you cash your ticket after the first half.
listen, I just something about it. I just feel it's Buffalo's year. That's just a personal feeling.
I hope you're
Um,
right. I hope you're
I
right.
just think it's their year. I can't see them losing this game at home. I think weather's going to be an issue, but Baltimore's used to bad weather, so it's not going to affect
Yeah,
them
that's not
as
an
far
issue.
as that's concerned. I did bet the first half under,
like
and
that.
I'm going to tell you what I bet at in a minute. I took the first half under, and I put the Bills in my teaser. Bills +7, Chiefs -2.5, Eagles are as a pick'em. That was my teaser +128. 3 teams, 6 points. That's what I did.
You can make the first half under official play for me.
I took 24.5 -107 at Bet Rivers just now as we were talking. Under 24. If I like those unders 24.5. I like that
Yeah.
under in the first half, man. I sure do. 23.5. I might not have bit.
I told Jimmy most of these games in the NFL last week, it's always at 23.5 that they hang, to catch, or 20. They kind of want you to think about betting that under beforehand. And then they kind of entice you with the 24.5 too. So that I wish it was 24 other than 20 or 23.5 than 24.5. But
Right.
I'll take the 24.5 too. I'll take that.
Yeah, but now,
I'm
Andrew
probably
G
going to wind
likes.
up betting, because the only legal app we have here in Florida is Hard Rock. We only have the one out there. So
Oh, really?
yeah, we don't have, that's it. That's just the way they legislated the sports gambling down here a couple years back. But on those
Ridiculous.
apps, you could move those numbers up and down, obviously, so maybe come up with some kind of crazy parlay. I had a guy I work with. He had like a 17-teamer last week. He'll take like let's say Lamar's or whoever the quarterback was last week. He uses 225 as the standard, so he'll tease that number down so it goes over. But you like him like -300. But you put a bunch of them crazy. It's like a big money line parlay type of thing.
Right.
Well, the only one he lost was he had Denver +21.5, and he cashed all the other 16 but that one. That's a hell of a way to lose. I said, why don't you take the favorite and make them, a little bit higher instead of taking all them points with Denver? He said, I'm going for bang for my buck. So I wish him luck. So,
yeah, you always.
You're looking at something. He only bet it like $5 and then cash out for like 16,000, some crazy number.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But he hasn't cashed one yet, but he's come close.
But my friend always bets those 5, 6, 7, 18 parlays.
It's a pipe dream bet.
And the next day he always says to me, "I had 6 out of the 7. I lost the last one."
So what do you guys think about this one? Lamar Jackson allegedly is 3-1 in games below 32 degrees. You think?
I just think those are coincidences. I think
coincidence.
Those stats, I think, are coincidence. I don't know. That's just me.
They say he's the best player. He's the best player in cold weather.
Wait, okay, but Josh Allen isn't. The guy's used to. Maybe no one's used to.
You got to remember when Josh was playing in Wyoming. He played in a lot of cold weather games.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
of course, all the games.
Well, I get it. Listen.
Yeah.
Lamar has more weapons. If you ask me offensively, Lamar has more weapons, and the reason why I think Josh Allen deserved the MVP is because he did more with less. The way I kind of look at it, but yeah, they're going to be good games, man.
Stats. If you want to stack stats up, it's easy to.
Listen, we'd all be rich if it was all about stats all the time. Right? You can study till you're blue in the face, especially with the NFL. Man, if that's what it was about, we'd all be rich. So
I'd say if you get the most valuable player, is the most valuable guy to his team, and if the team has a winning season, like if Joe Burrow had if it was the Bengals playing the Ravens right now, and Joe Burrow had a chance to win it, it'd probably go to Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? So it's all about winning. It's all about being on winning teams in a timely fashion and having I wouldn't say even a career year, just having an outstanding year. But Lamar's having a career year, and Allen's having an outstanding year. So
there you go.
So let me finish off before we close out my teaser. So my teaser, Bills +6 gives me 7. Bills +7, and then I got that parlayed over to Notre Dame +14. How about that? Yeah,
let's go, baby.
I was going to say
that's a +400 on that teaser. Let's get this money.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. Freeman has got these kids so far. I know Ohio State's been on the cusp of greatness, trying to keep tabs on the SEC, playing up with their level and all that. the Big Ten's better football this year. Plain and simple. I'll go out and say I don't give a shit. Better football in the Big Ten this year than the SEC. Take that, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Even better than the Big Ten is the team out of South Bend. How's that? Today, I'm going to go on record. They're not going to need the points. Take Notre Dame on the money line. Team's laser focused on the offense, on the defense, and that coach in the locker room has been spectacular with this kid. Ryan Day, flip-flops a little bit. He's got an ultra-talented team. Probably more talent than Notre Dame, but sometimes the more talented team doesn't win the game on the field. And guess who wins the game on the field? The team that's focused. Good luck to you on Monday night.
Thank you. I like that too.
What do you think about the total in that game? I know the under is being talked about a lot. Was it like 45 or something?
Yeah, I like the under.
That's another first half under that I might throw in.
I like the full game under there.
Yeah, 45 and a half. But you guys both you like Notre Dame though, right?
Notre Dame is going to need that game to be an under for them to win. They don't want to get in a shooting match.
Gotcha.
I don't think Riley Leonard's built to really come from behind. Let's say in a big way. So if they get behind early, it's going to be tough, and that might it might play well to Ohio State and over in that respect. But I think for Notre Dame to win the game, it's going to have to stay under. It's going to be close. And Ohio
State 325.
I'm gonna just say this.
Notre Dame money line is plus 325.
Yeah, I'm taking Notre Dame.
I'm gonna just say this: the consolation prize for Notre Dame not winning, if they don't win, is gonna be covering. So, the bet, I think it should be 100% Notre Dame plus those points. Those points don't even make a lot of sense to me. We had history with this team before. It's a lot of history in between this whole game. Nobody's scared of nobody. No, there's no big bad nothing. Yeah, there's no big bad wolf in this game. And this defense is focused.
Notre Dame is probably one of the most focused college teams I've seen since you and I have been doing this in the past 6 years or whatever. This team to me is probably one of the best team, locker room wise, focus wise. What they go in and out week to week, like the best game that you went to was the Northern Illinois game, just for that reason. Because after that game, even when they lost that game, that was it, buddy. This team was on a mission. That was whatever.
Yeah. They got a curse.
You had to watch that loss, but then again, it'd be good to talk about. Hey, I went to that game. It was the only loss they had, but I was glad to see them lose because we won the national championship.
I love it. But in this game for Notre Dame, man, like you said, the whole, like we was talking about earlier, you can't teach urgency. You can't teach being focused 100% and playing the game full out like they teach it over there, And I don't know. I'm thankful anyway for us even to be in this position, and I'm gonna be more thankful when we finally become national champions. So shout out to Notre Dame, man. They're doing
What's the point spread?
Notre Dame won the national championship.
What's the point spread?
88.
Oh,
and 88 was the last one. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna go dig it up. After the win. What? My 6th grade picture ID for junior high. I'm on there with a big Notre Dame shirt. 6th grade. People said, my buddy said, no way you was a Notre Dame fan back in 88. You was just a kid. I said, I'm going to prove it to you.
But yeah. Here's a little bit about Notre Dame. Notre Dame has covered the spread in its last 11 games. Notre Dame has won each of its last 13 games. 4 of Notre Dame's last 5 games on neutral venues have gone over the total. And Notre Dame has covered, like I said, 11 games. I found it interesting that the team totals, which I love playing team totals, the Ohio State is 27.5 is their team total, and Notre Dame's is 17.5. That team total, they're going to have to score 20 points, 21, 24 points to win. I think that's low.
They got to score north of 17 to win.
I think 17.5 is a low thing. And the first half might be, let me see what the first half line is. Just 22.5, so that's a little bit tough. But
that Notre Dame defense though kind of reminds me of that Ravens team back in the day with Ray Lewis. Like they didn't need the greatest quarterback. They didn't need the greatest quarterback. They didn't need
Nope.
nothing.
Nope.
They just found ways to get the job done through their
And my boy Bart
defense.
Scott was on that team too.
Yeah,
That's my
I'm not
boy,
going to
Bart
try to
Scott.
get cute with points here. I'm just
Yep.
gonna say Notre Dame outplay Ohio State.
There you
Let's
Let's
go.
go. Let's get out of here,
wrap
though.
it
We've
up,
been
man.
in here more than an hour. Appreciate
No,
you
no.
coming on with us, Big Ragu, and of
I'll
course,
be on with you guys after, like I say, after college, after the NFL finish up championship round. I'll start capping a little bit of
Yeah.
college basketball.
And big shout out to the chat, man. We had a whole bunch show up. My man Andrew G, Daryl Turner, Smart Money Bets, Don D Dub, Dante Williams, Nasty Nate, Wine Time. Shout out to y'all hanging out with us today.
Andrew
And
G.
Yeah.
we're gonna get out of here. Y'all got any last words for the folks?
No, man. Let's have a good.
Just keep them views coming. There'll be a lot. What you guys are doing, with you guys and Jimmy and Ixie and Nate. Nate, we gotta get Nate on here.
They say he don't go on camera. He don't go on
nasty
camera.
mug out here.
That's our
Yeah, we
chat
gotta
guy
get-
right there.
Yeah, no,
I
he's
tell
behind
Jimmy
the
G
scenes
to
working.
come on with
He's
us.
like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain back there.
Yeah,
We got
I
that's
tell
our guy.
Jimmy G to come on, but those guys, he's too young. He gets up. He don't get up that early on a Sunday, on a Saturday. And when he does, it's because his kid is kicking him to get up. So
Yeah.
it's hard. I know it's hard for especially on the West Coast guys. But we'll be back next Saturday, 10:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Pacific Time for what we got next. Keep tuned to Who Banging during the week. We've been putting out at least a couple days a week our college basketball plays.
Yeah,
We've been a little,
putting them up there.
Yep. So we
Thank
keep
you
on
today.
plugging along. Give us the old like and subscribe and all that stuff. And thank you for coming in,
Let's go.
fellas.